This build is evaporating everything.
Alright, that's it. I'm gonna make a video on it.
Yo! Satorix here again, and I promised you a build guide. And I'm going to deliver you an absolute monster of one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This build guide is directly for arbitration. I made this build with one thing in mind. Comfort is king. My goal for the build, considering arbitration is a pretty unique game mode with some unique challenges, I needed something to have good mana, good damage, and good survivability, all while not needing a single thing from another teammate. I delivered and even overachieved what I thought was possible with the build. And everything is centered around one special piece of the puzzle. The Kuva Ogris. The Kuva Ogris doesn't get a lot of meta play because it has some very apparent flaws introduced last time it was updated, where the damage is meh and the ammo is absolutely terrible. But if we solve for those issues, it becomes the absolute nuke monster we've always wanted it to be. And because arbitration isn't Steel Path, it's a step in the right direction for the damage. And the build for the Ogris is centered around Nightwatch Napalm. During trial and error testings, I discovered how to use this mod to its fullest potential. And believe it or not, the secret sauce was on the wiki the whole time. The mod itself is what's clearing entire rooms, and to maximize the output, we have to increase our base damage and not the explosion damage from the radial attack on the Ogris. Here is the base level build, and as long as you have access to these mods, you'll be able to clear tile sets of arbitration mobs. Here is the important mods where you can upgrade for even more comfortability. I would recommend honestly going to primed sniper ammo because, as I mentioned, the ammo is one of the worst parts of this build, and the primed sniper ammo mutation was such a quality of life for me. I absolutely recommend this first. You can also get any version of higher serration, but the important things here: the Napalm Watch, galvanized chamber, cryo rounds, hellfire, and the semi-rifle cannonade. And the reason is the increased damage is what we're going for here, because all three of these mods increase this base damage here, which is what we want to maximize if we're going to be clearing tile sets in arbitration with the Ogris. Heavy caliber is arguably the most important of the base damages between serration and heavy caliber, because that minus 55 accuracy actually helps you spread all of your pellets around the room, causing even more ground coverage for your napalm. So the more multi-shot, the worse your accuracy, the better spread your damage is around the map. Now, for some easy upgrades, personally, what I did was I went right into the primed sniper ammo mutation. This is such a life changer in terms of how much spam you can do. And then again, I went right with the primed cryo rounds and even the primed firestorm to give you even more of that ranged clear. And this is where the build essentially will sit, unless you get yourself a nice fat ribbon that you can replace the serration with, and then obviously I'm going to use that on the polarity. But this is the build that I am currently running right now with primary merciless. But again, even if you don't have all of these primed versions, the build functions beautifully as the base set as well. Just because we now have the Ogris kitted up and looking beautiful, the gleaming flaws of the weapon are still going to show their ugly head. So now let's talk about how I fixed those issues to create the Firestorm Wonderland that I love to watch. And there she is, our beautiful Mirage. And if you play Mirage, you probably already know why we chose her as our platform. And the answer's super simple. Eclipse. The most important words on this ability is increases Mirage's weapon damage, which scales directly onto the base damage of the Ogris, giving us more of that Firestorm Napalm proc damage. But that's not the only reason for Mirage. Her Hall of Mirrors ability is also a pretty good defensive ability in keeping her alive in general, and worst case, we have auger mods on, which I'll show you the build here shortly. We can spam sleight of hand if we need extra like pseudo shield gate. And for the last piece of the puzzle, we are using energized munitions on our fourth ability here, which essentially gives us unlimited shots with the Ogress. And as you can see by the duration, we have made this build run 15 seconds long of energized munitions, making it unbelievably comfortable to spam. And as I mentioned before, if you're able to get that primed sniper mutation, it makes this almost unnecessary, but it is still very required for the build to function. Here is the build I'm running for Arbitration, and pretty much everything in here is pretty needed, but there are some things that you can change. Obviously, we really focused on our strength and our duration. Duration because generally, I told you I am the comfort king. I have to hit Hall of Mirrors once every minute and a half and Eclipse the same amount. And I have 15 seconds on my energized munitions. I have no efficiency and absolutely no range, but I don't need any of those things because this is an Ogris build, which has all the range that I need it to. I'm running Arcane Battery and Arcane Blessing. The Arcane Battery mixed with the health conversion is really what's going to make this an insane energy type of build. I never have to worry about running low on mana because I am just constantly getting armor when I pick up health orbs and mana when I'm picking up health orbs as well. And I'm running a purple Archon Shard, just one, not even a Tau. And it is more than enough mana than I ever need. And then the Arcane Blessing in Arbitration almost feels required because if any toxic mobs are on the map, they are going to eat directly into your HP, and Arcane Blessing gives you an absolute crazy amount of health. Not to mention, if any of your teammates die during Arbitration, those cells that you pick up to revive them give you a health debuff, and that health debuff actually gets minimized by using Arcane Blessing. Adaption for constant damage, the Augur secrets and message for the 80% energy spent if I need to quickly shield gate with spamming sleight of hand, because as I mentioned, you're not going to have any mana problems. Sure-footed and fortitude, because the Ogris will knock you down completely if you shoot it too close to your feet. If you have prime Surefoot, absolutely throw it in here, and it gives you another slot where the fortitude is, where honestly you can probably put Equilibrium and save yourself the purple Archon Shard and even go deeper into the duration or strength. Obviously the strength we want because it increases our weapon damage, and the duration, as I mentioned before again, was for the energized munitions. Thank you guys so much for watching my build guide. Hopefully you learned something from the video and it helped. If you did, I would really appreciate a like and maybe even that sneaky subscription. I have really been falling in love with making content for Warframe, and if you're enjoying the channel and the content and you'd like to see something specific, leave a comment below. I'm always looking and open to new content ideas. And a reminder, I do stream on Twitch. My guaranteed schedule for the time being is going to be Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 5, because Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will be bringing you guys YouTube content for the foreseeable future. Thank you again so much, And until next time, Tenno, peace.